Yeah. Shake my pom poms. Shake my pom poms. Shake my pom poms. Shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em. Yeah. Oh, shake your pom poms. Yes. There you go. Oh, man. Wednesday evening, 10 p.m. And of course, you got Brown, 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 that darn Brown on Cleveland. And of course, you got Kimberly F. Brown and you got Miss Freddie hanging out at 10:01 p.m. Hey, Freddie, how you doing?
Good evening, Miss Brown. How you doing? How you doing? And happy hump day.
Well, I'm doing just fine, although I feel as though I've been attacked all day by a bunch of
Mm.
fleas and pesky flies all day long, and I'll tell you about that later. But listen, of course, I always got to do this. Welcome inside the Little Hut Podcast. Brown, 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 that Don Brown on Cleveland, hanging out with Miss Freddie in the house. But don't forget, listen, if you guys need a single home, new development, commercial property, duplex, whatever your need may be. Call Aletha Johnson of Dream Team Realty. Her number is 216-375-3681. And if you're looking for t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, tumblers, cups, mugs, team uniform, even the t-shirt that's in the back of my vehicle that Miss Freddie refuses to get to come by the little hut, the little hole in the wall to get, contact Angie Marie of New Beginnings, 1111 Creations at 216-395-7335. Woo! Wednesday, Freddie, I've had one heck of a day. Boy, I woke up and somebody was trying to
Mm.
punch your girl in the eye. And you know, I punched right back. Sure did.
Mm.
I did. I did. But you know what? I got to say hello to my number one fan. At one point, I thought he was a stalker, but he's not a stalker. He's my number one fan, and he lives in the city of Maple Heights in District 7. His name is Daniel Scaletti. He's my number one fan, Freddie. He told me a couple of minutes ago on Facebook, he said, Ms. Brown, don't nobody listen to your entire podcast. He says, you have one listener and you're trying to get two listeners tonight. I said, that's not true, Daniel. That's not true. I said, I have zero listeners. And I have one because you are my number one fan. So, of course, got to shake my pom poms for him. He told me that I make bad decisions. And he said that the lady who's running in Maple Heights District 7, who I'm shaking my pom poms for, he says that we are just alike. Yeah, pretty much, because had it not been for me and her, you wouldn't have the mayor that you have, because it's because of me and Edwin AG that you got Blackwell as a mayor. So that's what you know for a fact, Daniel. So know what you're talking about, because it's true what you said, Brown on Cleveland. So, Freddie, that's my rant for this evening. Oh, and by the way, she was talking about me too. So go on my Facebook page, and Blackwell got punched in the eye. I don't play them games. Don't talk about me. And I helped your butt for 15 years. Girl, go on somewhere and sit down. Okay, I have. Okay, yeah. All right.
Mm.
Woo.
Okay. You see, you held that one out. Like so, you. You
But
caught.
listen, but listen. Next Sunday, this Sunday coming up, being serious, I have a special podcast coming, and the podcast is going to be focused on the city of Maple Heights because there's some serious issues that need to be discussed and some truth that need to be told. And I'm going to tell it. 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 You talk about me, I'm going to talk about you. But the difference is, I'm going to tell the truth. Brown on Cleveland. Okay, off my chest now.
I was like, I know I'm not supposed to follow that because okay, we good.
Yeah, we good. Topic for
All
tonight.
right.
Yeah, topic for tonight.
Hmm. What we got?
Freddie is startled right now because I
Okay.
threw her off guard. But that
I'm
was just
good.
I was on my chest. I just had
Communities in
to get it out.
crisis.
Yeah, communities in
Yeah.
crisis. I'm in crisis.
I think we all have daily crises. I swear. I feel like I deal with a crisis. If I don't have three a day, something ain't right. So it's
All right. Okay, so let's be serious because tonight we do have a serious topic. What I wanted
okay.
to talk about tonight, because I'm going to save that shiggity boo for Sunday, because that's going to be a show that's going to be fire, pure
Mm.
fire. It's going to be crazy, right? I think I got haters and stalkers now. You haven't seen anything yet. So Daniel, I'm going to give you 3 listeners and viewers rather than 2. I'm growing, just like Weezy and George Jefferson. But listen, real quick, let's talk about the crisis situation that's going on, not just within the city of Cleveland, but across the United States of America. A couple of hours ago, we just saw everything that happened over off of 79 in Kansas. I know that what you do for a living, I know that's one area that you and the organization that you work for, work with, you guys are talking about that issue and you guys are responding. So I want to talk about, the crisis, because what I do see now on social media, now I'm being totally serious. I see a lot of people who are trying to raise money. I see people who have set up GoFundMe pages, and I don't think that's appropriate. But I'll talk about that later. And I see a lot of people asking for like clothing, toiletries, things of that magnitude. Freddie, what is it that we can do in a time of crisis like this? If you can please do me a favor and just revisit what happened to one of you guys' areas that you guys monitor in a sense around on Cleveland being serious.
Okay, so what Kim is talking about is the explosion
Hmm.
that took place in Rainbow Terrace, which is considered the Garden Valley community, but Rainbow Terrace is a community behind the CMHA property. So it's not CMHA, it is a HUD property owned by a private company. So, or a company privately owned that get HUD subsidies or whatever. But on this day, Monday, the 23rd, I think it was about 4 o'clock, an explosion took place up in Rainbow Terrace apartments. And it was, you know, wow. I first seen it when I was at a meeting and I started seeing stuff on social media, and I didn't see the videos yet of the mother having to put her baby out the window and all of this other stuff, because people are like, oh my God, I'm in tears. And but to fast forward, we currently have 43 families that are displaced.
43.
So 43. So I know we've had people, and the outpouring of donations have been great. And this is a beginning journey for all these families. And remember, we do appreciate the donations right now, but remember, some of the families still haven't been placed. So we are looking to find bigger areas to store the supplies on the things that are coming in. But right now, we are taking donations at Burton Bell Car 7201, Kinsman Avenue, Cornucopia. So, what we are in need of right now, for the most part, we are getting an overwhelming amount of clothing, which we appreciate. But we need toiletries. You got to think, when somebody loses everything, some of the
Hmm.
most basic things that they need, if they're moving into a new place, they need dishes, they need
Correct.
kitchenware, they need cleaning supplies, hygiene, toothpaste, rags, towels, things like we just don't think about. So pillowcases and sheets, and they need everything amongst clothing. But clothing, and we appreciate the clothing, because I even tell them, even if they don't need all of the clothing, there is always a need within the community in general
Well, let me ask
for.
you this, Freddie.
Go ahead.
I was speaking with I don't know if you know Rhonda Stubbs, who owns Flava over in Garfield Heights. It's a restaurant, real nice.
Hmm.
And I was talking to her briefly. We were talking about clothing that's being donated because we saw a lot of people asking for clothing, but nobody was really detailed about whether or not they were looking for new clothing or used clothing. So the clothing that's being donated over at Burtonville Car for the families, what is the best thing that people can do if the option is to donate clothing?
So what we have been getting, and we so appreciate, we have people that have been donating clothing items. They'll tell you, these are clothes I've had for my kids. I'm this is what a better time for me to, what better use than to give them away at this time. So they are washing these clothes, they are folding these clothes. The lady like,
Mhm.
these just came out of my dryer. Some of them ain't never been worn, but I washed them and here they are. So people are coming and like some people are marking it like this bag is for men. So if
And
anything to help us sort, because remember when you're just dropping off clothes, we have to open this stuff. We have to
okay,
decipher because we have 43 families that are displaced. So what we're trying to do is one, get ahead of it and tell people to, if you're going to donate, you can go to Burtonville Carr's social media site. You can definitely follow Councilman Richmond Starr's Instagram post, Facebook, wherever he's at. And he has the link posted for financial donations and updated information about um, things that will be needed. But those are the things that we are looking for. And again, we're looking for volunteers that can come and help sort these clothes because we are getting them in faster than the capacity we can handle. So, yeah, go ahead, Kim.
Freddie, so you stated that there are 43 families that are displaced, right? But with the
Correct.
43 families, how many individuals are we actually talking about, or approximately?
So I haven't got the total amount of families in totality as far as like if that 43 families be 200 people or 150 people, I don't know. I know they have three people that um, I want people to keep in their prayers that are still in critical condition. A young man, unfortunately, with 92% burns over his body, and two kids with over 50 to 60% burns. So, and then we don't know what the condition of a people that may have been just treated and released, but or just the whole mental trauma of the event. But these people, like, it's great we're giving now, and when people are donating, we have people who just coming from everywhere and donating, and they're like some people that really that it touches me is when I see people within our own community that say when they come in and they see all the stuff that's been given, they like, wow. And I say, this is what community looks like. When
That's
we
right.
all do our part, the lift is not so heavy. When we all doing our part, look what we can do. And they like, exactly. And it was just, it's been a lot because, but that's life. Life happens and you just have to pivot. But yes, so if you want to donate, please come to Burn Bell Car. You can again follow us on social media, and the link is there. Follow the councilman who is at all accounts that I haven't been on the ground, but from other partners that have been there, they say he's been, very absolutely great during this whole tragedy. But yeah, it's sad. And at the same token, I do want to say this. There has been a lot going on in Garden Valley before this explosion. So I thank God no one life has passed, but there has to be some kind of environmental justice and equality that happens amongst how you choose to allow people to live in certain conditions. So whatever comes out of this, I hope there is progress into housing in our urban areas. So yeah, I'm just gonna let it play out and see what they determine the cause to be. But hopefully, with the attention that's needed in this particular community, that something comes of it. So
Question for you, Freddie. So, what time can people drop off their donations over at Burtonville Car? Because I know the center is next to Burtonville Car, but all that is Burtonville Car except for the library, right? So,
correct.
what is the time that people can drop off donations. And if they want to drop off a cash donation or checks, who do they make this out to? What happens with that? Brown on Cleveland.
So the check that you make out, if you choose to do a financial contribution to um, the families of Garden Valley, you would come in if you want to do a check, if you want to do cash, you will get a receipt back. And of course, Burton Bell Carr is a nonprofit 501c3. So if you choose to, you can write it off on your taxes. But you make the checks out to Burton Bell Carr, and you can say in care of Garden Valley
Mm-hmm.
family. So that's where the funds will be specifically directed to the benefit and aid of assisting that community. So yes, you can come in. You can again do the link, which everybody today is so tech savvy. But if you have
Yeah.
old school people, we've had people bring checks and we've had people bringing in cash. So whichever way you prefer, cash, check, however you want to do, it's available for you to donate and assist. So remember, this is just the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
a long journey from a community that already, you know, again, is considered one of the forgotten communities. So again, that's just me speaking from my workers hat
Yeah.
and looking at it in that view. But
Yeah,
yes.
for people who are just tuning in, we started the show off just making some jokes about today, no big deal. But I really want to talk today about the crisis and how do we prepare for crises. I don't even know if that's even possible. But it's always like, in life, you have to expect the unexpected. And I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but there has been some conversation from, I'm not going to say from naysayers or people who are trying to be cynical or anything like that. But the question that a lot of people have and had, I'm going to go ahead and ask it because most people won't because they don't want social media to beat them up. But you know me, I don't mind because the question got to be asked. Do you know if any of the residents, if they invested in renters insurance, Brown or Cleveland?
So that has been a question
Yeah, that's been a question.
that has been posed. And I get
Hmm.
it. I get it.
Okay.
I absolutely get it because there are and so we talk about renters insurance, life insurance,
Hmm.
all things that will prevent you from being in this kind of need. You still need immediate needs, and that's what you have
Right. Car
the Red
insurance,
Crosses
right?
and all that, for. Um, but in the instance, like I said, from renters insurance to life insurance, when people look at a certain group of people, you should have that. They should have had that.
Hmm.
And I get it. I get it. There's accountability that needs to be held, and that's on all levels. And I know people that work 9 to 5 jobs every day that don't got renters insurance, that
Hmm.
don't have it. So I get the question of why they don't have it. They'll smoke it up, they're gonna drink it up, they're gonna do whatever that's a whole nother conversation because it leads back to education and within our community of a lot of things. So is a layered answer to that. Like, yeah, they should have it, but do they have the financial literacy or knowledge to know that, yeah, it may only cost you $5-10 a month. It may only cost you that. Do they even know that? Is that even being exposed to them? Because you can't assume, and you never should assume, because I come from those same circumstances and I would have never like get renter's insurance. Like, what?
I think that's fair. I think that's
So
fair because when I was a renter, my home got burglarized, right? And some people were saying, well, you should have had renter's insurance. And you're absolutely right. If you don't know about it,
your boy on. I'm sorry.
you don't you don't know about it, then you don't do anything about it. And then two, we have that attitude in life that certain things won't happen to us. We are so invincible rather than being, proactive and putting together a contingency plan and understanding that we have to build like, an emergency fund for things like this. we don't think about things like that because we have that thought process that says it'll happen to everybody else, but it won't happen to me. And if you can imagine, waking up that morning before the fire, before the explosion at Rainbow Terrace, nobody would have ever thought that that would have occurred today. I never would have thought it in my lifetime that that would have occurred. And I used to work down there back in the day. I know a lot of families back there, but still, no one could have ever told me, well, there's going to be an explosion. A lady's going to throw her baby out the window. Thank God she did that. And the thing that got me about that whole situation, I was so proud of the residents, is because although people, they bicker and they have differences, and they may have even like had an argument that morning, but when you saw that crisis on television, what did you see? I saw all these people coming together. They were screaming, trying to make sure people were out of their apartments. And when they were up high, they were all like this, Freddie. Like, jump. I got you. I got you. And that's what the village is all about. That's the real village. Nobody was left being uncared for. They even made sure the dogs and the cats were safe. So I'm sorry it happened to them. God knows my heart goes out to everybody who has been impacted, even family members who have family members down there. But can't nobody say that community did not come together. And they are to be commended.
And it
From
shows what community looks like.
yes.
It shows what community looks like. Because sometimes, not even sometimes, for the absolute longest time, we have forgotten what community looks like. And it's through unfortunate tragedy that you are forced to figure out how to make some things happen and how to think about somebody else beyond yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So to again uh, to see the people that were showing up today, and I'm telling you, we had a firefighter like off 116. His name is Joy. He came in, pulled up his truck. He brought in a bunch of baby stuff. He brought in baby food. We getting baby food and all of this. And he said, "Can I take a picture?" And I said, "You must need proof for your wife or girlfriend." He's like, "Exactly." He says, "You're gonna be like, did you really drop it off?" So he took a picture just to show, yes, I took it. But we've had some of everyone from the refugee um organization. She said our no she's like our channels are slow, like nobody is utilizing us. So here and bring all these new items and baby stuff. She
Yeah.
said it's so it's been and again every time people walk in, because again we just started asking for donations yesterday, and we have an abundance and we need more.
Yeah.
But remember, this is the beginning of a long journey for a lot of them, and then sometimes it's actually actually a great way to have a fresh start. So, unfortunately, it's like through tragedy, there can be triumph. There could be growth.
Correct.
There could be better. There can be
Correct.
better. It can be different, but it can be better. And nothing will ever be the same when you go through something. You'll always remember that, because I would never want to imagine living through an explosion of that magnitude. And yeah, it was just a lot. And like the fire department was stating, because they had solar panels, it was basically almost useless of them pouring water onto the roof at that time. They had to
Mm-hmm.
break through it because it was so. And yeah, it's a lot to this, that like a recipe for a disaster. So again, it's a tragedy, but it's sometimes there is something that needs to be brought to light,
Yeah.
Um, but again, the community has been resilient. There has been, again, outpouring and just people just trying to look out for each other. And again, just trying to remind people this, again, is what community looks like. All of us lifting a hand to help each other from this community, from people coming from Lakeshore, from Euclid, from the West Side, from all parts of the city. It just like this how it can be done. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the great part. It's been busy, so and but this is the reason why I enjoy this work, and this is the reason, like, I when we are able to come together, you can see people just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thinking beyond self. Like, I don't, do I
Awesome.
need these purses? Do I need these shoes?
Awesome.
Like, absolutely, actually I don't. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So one more time, Freddie, give us the address to Burdenville Car. Tell us what time people can drop off the donations. And if you see like a need for a certain type of donation, you can tell us too. Brown on Cleveland talking about the crisis that happened on Monday over at Rainbow. If you can help, help. If nothing else, pray, but everybody can lend a certain hand. And then, two, I heard her say that volunteers are needed to help sort. So there are many ways that you can possibly help. And the work that we do with our commission, nobody can ever deny. We're always out there helping, shaking our pom poms. Aside anything else, the community is always first because this is where our livelihood comes from and our quality of life. We have to be able to look out for one another and take care of each other. And that's what this thing is about. So, Freddie is on you. And after that, we're going to wrap it up. Brown on Cleveland. Thank you.
All right. And again, people, thank you for all that have given thus far. The work just begins. But again, the address where you can drop off right now is 7201 Kinsman Avenue, right across from Heritage View. We're right across from, unfortunately, where the tragedy happened. But again, we're going to make sunshine come from this tragedy, because there was a light that need to be shined on this place for a reason. But things that we are specifically in need for. So I do want to make sure I say this, because we do tend to forget we have men that have been impacted. We have young teenagers, we have boys. So
Mhm.
we always get an abundance of girl stuff and women stuff, because women like, hey, I'm giving. So, but we've had people bring in men's clothing, which we do need. T-shirts. It's hot outside, y'all. We've been getting
Mhm.
prime dresses, and we appreciate it, and we'll figure out how to use them later. But we want to make sure we give us stuff we can use. But again, once we make sure the families that have been directly impacted by this are taken care of, we will make sure that any abundance of things that are left over, we will give to the community.
All right. I'm on a little early.
I like the Grammy thing, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hit the wrong button. Sometimes,
I said, I got the Grammy thing. She done played the music on me.
yeah, I know, I know, I know. Say your goodbyes, Freddie. We got
All
to go.
right, live, love, laugh, and try to make a difference along the way. Until next time.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Kimberly Brown, Brown on Cleveland crisis. We don't know who may be in a crisis today or and tomorrow, but you know, we gotta be proactive. We gotta protect ourselves, and more than anything, we gotta look out for one another. Brown, Brown, Brown. That darn Brown on Cleveland. You don't have to be a star, baby. You don't have to be a star, baby.
Oh,
You don't have to be a star, baby, to be on this show. You don't have to be a star, but
you got to be bold.
yeah, shake my pom poms. Shake my pom poms, y'all. Make sure to join us. Be sure to join us on Friday. Friday is going to be a hot and fiery show. And then Sunday, I got a personal show just for the residents of the city of Maple Heights. Yeah, there are a lot of things going on, and you need to hear it first from yours truly, Brown, 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 that damn Brown on Cleveland. Thank you for coming inside the Little Hut podcast, because sometimes it gets really hot. Brown on Cleveland. Bye.